What up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. On this channel, we grow not only together, but we grow in our marriages and with God. Today, we are going to be specifically talking about how we budget as a married couple. So let's get started off with this chat. And hey, if you want to become part of this community with other wives just learning how to thrive together and journey through this wifeyhood, hit that like and subscribe button down below because I post a video every Friday. Now let's get to chatting. Just letting y'all know, my husband and I, we are still new to budgeting. We have been doing it for the past 3 months, but honestly, it genuinely has changed our lives so much better. It has helped us to become more disciplined. It has helped us just to have control over our money. So let's just start off with a scripture. I'm gonna read Hebrews 12:11. It says, "No discipline is enjoyable while it's happening. It's painful. But afterward, there will be a peaceful harvest of right living for those who are trained in this way." Currently, right now, budgeting, it's not fun. You know, it's not easy, but we know that it's just going to produce so much fruit inside of our lives. Which actually brings me to the reason behind our why. We genuinely were sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck and not knowing where our money was going, because we want to start a family and we were like, how in the world do people in California afford children? Hey, if you live in California and completely understand where I'm coming from, let me know down in the comments below, okay? And we knew, because we were like, hey, we want to start a family, and me personally, I want to become a stay-at-home mom, Lord willing. And I actually have a video talking about, which I'll link up above, about how we are preparing for me to become a stay-at-home mom. But we knew that if I'm going to become a stay-at-home mom, we really need to get our finances in order. Also, I am not sure if y'all have heard of lifestyle creep, but my husband, he just finished school, and I was like, okay, I know that our income is going to be increasing within these next few months, and I definitely don't want to become that person that couple where the income is increasing, but then our lifestyle is increasing as well, and we're still living a paycheck to paycheck. So I was like, we definitely need to make a change. If you're not sure what lifestyle creep is, I'm not sure who coined that phrase, but lifestyle creep is basically when, say you're making $50,000 right now, but in a year you get a new job and you're making $100,000. Then, since you're making $100,000, it's like, hey, I should treat myself to a better apartment. I'm gonna pay $3,000 now for an apartment, moving to a new apartment. And then you're like, oh wait, I need to get a new car. Okay, I can afford a new car. Let me go out and get a new car. Oh girl, we're going to this restaurant. I can afford this restaurant. I can pay for you. Your lifestyle just keeps on increasing, as well as your money. So basically, you're just not paying off anything, and you'll just be living paycheck to paycheck for the rest of your life. And honestly, my husband and I did not want to do that. We were like, we need to learn how to live below our means, because that's the only way that we are going to get out of this rut, of this hole. One of the things that really helped us become one in our financial freedom journey is that we have joint accounts, okay? I know that's kind of a hot topic. It's something that we talked about in premarital counseling, and we actually had completely different views on if we should have joint accounts or not. But we came to the decision that, hey, if we're becoming one as a married couple in Christ, then we definitely should be unified in our finances as well. And even at the beginning of our marriage, when we were just beginning to join accounts, it was even hard then. And it was only maybe 2 months we had separate accounts, because it was like he would spend over here, then I would spend, and then it was like, wait, how much money do we have left? And it was just really confusing. So for us personally, we do joint accounts, but I know people who have a joint account, have their separate accounts, and it works for them. So just do whatever works for you. And also as well, it helps us to feel like we're working together towards one financial goal as one, since we are married. So I feel like us having that joint account, us having our joint goals as a family, because we are all one, it just has helped us be on the same team. Helped us be on the same team financially. I know that starting budgeting can be a little overwhelming, and you're like, where do I even start? How do I start? Where should I start? But I promise you, and honestly, you may even feel a little scared to go over how much you've been spending and where it's going, and hey, even looking at all of your bills. But I promise you, it is going to be worth it once you finally lay everything out on a piece of paper or on an Excel sheet. So for us, all of our money goes directly into one checking account. And then from there, which I'll talk about a little bit later, is that we plan out all of our expenses. So we do our home expenses, which would be light bill, rent, gas, and then we do our lifestyle expenses, which would be my husband getting haircuts, me with my nails, fun money, date money, things like that, which I'm still learning how to kind of cut that down because it still is high, but hey, you know, budgeting is a journey, budgeting is a journey. And then all the additional money that we have, it goes to us paying down our debt. And we personally are doing the debt snowball. I know y'all are probably like, Joy, well, what do you use to budget? Okay, so there's two different things that you can use to budget. You can either use an Excel sheet, which you can buy off of Etsy, or you can use an app. We personally prefer using an app because it works better. I tried buying the Excel sheets off of Etsy, but me personally, it was just too much to try to set a reminder every week to go through every single transaction and log onto my computer, put it in, select a category. Y'all, it was too much, and I would end up... Y'all, this fly was in our house for like 2 days. Disgusting, the audacity. Oh, that was a bug. I would end up coming at the end of the month, didn't put any of my transactions in, and I would be sitting at the computer typing in every single transaction on that Excel sheet. It was just way too much, way too much. So I started switching over to apps, which you're able to link your checking account to, and that went way more smoother for me. We tried the Mint app, that didn't work for us. Personally, I know it sounds corny, I know not everybody likes Dave Ramsey, but we use Dave Ramsey's app called Every Dollar. I don't remember exactly how much, but it's definitely worth it because what you're able to do is when you withdraw cash from the ATM, or if you have multiple transactions that maybe need to be split, you're able to select that transaction and split it between different categories that you've planned for. And that has definitely been a game changer inside of our budgeting journey. And then once you make a transaction, or once a transaction is done pending, you're able to just select it. Because your account's linked, you're just able to select it and put it into the category that you have there. So super easy. I highly recommend the Every Dollar app. When we first started budgeting, I was like, man, people are just doing too much, withdrawing cash from the ATM and, you know, putting them in little envelopes. Like, that's old school. You know, we're able to control our money with just swiping our card and whatnot. But when I tell y'all, not every single month, it's only been 3 months, but the first 2 months we kept on overspending, and we were like, why are we overspending? Why are we overspending? And I believe that there is, don't quote me on it, but there is a study where it's like when you're using your debit card or credit card, you're literally spending like 10 to 15% more than when you're using cash. And the reason is because when you're using cash, you can physically like have it in your hand, and you're making like friction between what you are going to purchase. So say you only have $100 on you, and you know, you're out there shopping and whatnot, and you're like, oh, let me add this additional bag of chips, or you know, let me grab this additional skincare product. You know, if you have cash, you only have $100 on you, you're definitely gonna be like, dang, I need to put something back. I need to put something back. But if you have Apple Pay or using your card, it's like, well, technically there's money on here, so additional $12 won't hurt. Additional whatever won't hurt. It was definitely hurting us. It was definitely hurting us, and we kept on going over budget. So once we started cash stuffing, it definitely helped us to feel like we have more control of where our money is going. How we cash stuff. So yes, how we cash stuff is we only withdraw cash from the categories that we overspend on. For us, we tend to overspend on our groceries. We tend to overspend on gas. We tend to overspend on our date nights. We tend to overspend in like getting household items and skincare or Clorox, bleach, things like that. Those are categories that we overspend on. So since we know that we overspend on those, since I'm planning out what I am going to spend in those categories, you know, a week before the new month starts, I calculate that total, I head over to the bank, and I withdraw the total of all of those categories and I place them into these envelopes. I know a lot of people, and I got into it too, a lot of people like to use these binders which have envelopes inside of them for like food, vacation. I even created a little thing because I was so excited. I was like, I have to get this, I have to do. My husband was like, okay, Joy. Your pet, you know, dining out, things like that. It's really cute and it's pink. But honestly, I don't really wear purses. I mainly wear fanny packs and things like that. So I actually don't even use this. Maybe I will when I start, you know, wearing purses more again. But this was just too much, and I didn't like how all of my cash was in one. But it does have like a little spiral, so if you did want to take out just one envelope, you definitely could. But to me, this was just way too clunky. It's way too clunky. So what I did is you can go to your bank, and when you're withdrawing the cash, each bank, every bank you go to has envelopes, little white envelopes that you can ask them for. And yeah, you just go there and you're like, hey, can I have 6 envelopes with the cash? And yeah, they'll give them to you. This lady at Chase, she was like, she's like, oh, do you want a whole handful? I was like, hey, sure, I'll take them instead of having to ask y'all every single month. So yeah, just ask. They'll be completely nice when you're withdrawing that cash. One tip is I do recommend like kind of breaking down the total amount into some hundreds, 20s, 10s, 5s, 50s, because the only thing about having cash is sometimes you'll go somewhere and they're like, oh, we don't take anything bigger than a 20. So definitely break down your money. Break it down. Break it down. I don't know why I'm going into a beat. Talking about breaking it down, I hope nobody breaks into my car with this cash money. No, but on a serious note, one of my fears was that like someone's gonna try to rob me, you know, having this envelope on me, and you know, you just start thinking the worst. I'm gonna drop it and not get my money back. I mean, definitely you don't have as much protection having cash. Like, let's just be real. You know, if you drop your $100 bill, you're not gonna get it back. But honestly, like, I'm not a little kid. You're not a little kid. Like, be wise with where you're putting your money at. I never bring all of my envelopes with me in every single area or for every single errand that I'm running. So say I'm going to the grocery store, normally we spend $150 a week on groceries. I'm trying to bring that down. I'm trying to bring it down to $100 a week instead of $150 a week, but I'm being realistic, okay? I only bring the envelope that I'm going to use with me. And let's say, you know, there's $500 inside of here. I know we normally only spend $150 a week on groceries. I'm only gonna take the $150 with me to the store. I'm not gonna bring all the additional money. So then at least, you know, that reduces the risk of somebody robbing all of my money on me. So don't be scared, y'all. Don't be scared. You'll be okay. Embarrassing story because, you know, I'm not used to having cash on me. I'm used to just swiping my card. Y'all, I was over here, gave the cashier the cash that I had, paid her. You know, I ended up walking off with my groceries and she was like, lady, like, you need to get your cash. And I was like, oh my gosh. I really had to like retrain my brain to use cash. But thank the Lord that girl had integrity. Because if not, man, she could have swiped me. Swiper McSwiper. Or Swiper McSwipe me. My husband and I, we sat down together and we listed out all of our debts and we listed out our financial goals together and how we were going to achieve that. And the only way for us to know how long it's going to take and how we were going to achieve that is really learning how to live below our means. That means how much can we live below our means so then we can have this additional money to pay off debt. And with that additional amount of money that we're all throwing towards our debt, how long is it going to take us to become debt free. It was a little scary, I'm not going to lie, you know, listing all of our debts. But then it's like it's scary, but then at the same time, it's relieving. Because instead of like not thinking about it, it's like, okay, we know exactly how much debt we have, and now we know how long it's going to pay off, how long it's going to take us to pay off. And physically seeing it on paper, like, it brought so much peace. It's like, okay, I know that if our income does not increase at all, it's going to take us 2 years to pay off debt. We are hoping, golly, Lord willing, you know, that we paid off in half of that. But just knowing that in our head and knowing that, hey, as a team together, this is how we're going to pay off debt. It was like, man, it was exciting. It really was exciting. And I hope when you guys do that with your husband, or just sit down by yourself, shoot. I mean, if you're single, sit down by yourself. I hope it just brings you peace and it makes you excited as well. In conclusion of this video, I know getting on a budget, it's not fun, but it is totally worth it once you know exactly where your money is going, you're having control of it, and you have a financial goal with your husband, or just, you know, with yourself if you're single. Because it's just, I know it truly feels amazing, and I want you to feel that same exact way. So let's just go back, just ask the Lord every single day to help you, through this process of creating a budget, being debt free, if that's something that you desire. And hey, even just pray this scripture. I'm just going to read it one more time before we leave. And it's Hebrews 12:11, which says, "No discipline seems pleasant at the time." Spending that money, okay, it seems real pleasant. It's real fun, shopping, doing whatever. It seems real pleasant at the time, but it's painful to you, okay? Later on, however, it produces harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it, okay? So y'all, let's get disciplined together. Let's learn how to budget together, and let's learn how to thrive together as one, with our husbands and with God as well. I hope this video on budgeting and how we personally budget as a couple has inspired you guys in some type of way, because sis, we are in this together. So let's budget and get our lives in order, okay? Okay, I'll see y'all later. Ciao.